This is the most extreme, most over-the-top project I've ever done. These resin geode artwork are the inspiration behind this project. I think they're just stunning, and so I decided to try and make pendants that look like them. To make the crystals, I'm using crushed glass, DIY crushed glass, and I'm coloring them with resin pigment. I'm not gonna lie, crushing the glass and coloring them was the easiest part of this project. Do you notice how many molds I have out that I plan to use for this project? It's just typical me biting off more than I can chew. And I will add that another project was taking place in the background of this project. So that resin has been sitting there for 15 to 20 minutes at this point. And that's not good. You're gonna see why a little bit from this. Anyways, after crushing the glass and coloring the resin, I realized that I did not know exactly how I'm going to approach this. I was a little bit distracted by the project in the background, but this one was the main project that I set out to do, so it had my focus. But if you look at the resin that I'm scooping into this mold, you'll realize that it is quite thick, which isn't really a problem had I known exactly what I was supposed to do. By the way, notice that I put back some of the molds that I initially intended to use for this project, which is the best thing that I did on this day. I was just blank. I'm not sure why, but I was just blank. I was so hopeful for this project, but when time came to execute it, I was just blank. When it came time to use this blue resin, I realized that it was quite thick. It was not runny at all. And so this further compounded my problem because I realized that I did not have enough time to even think about what I was going to do. So it became a mad dash to put the resin in the molds. I hadn't given up on the project yet. I still tried to be a little bit artistic with the placement of the resin, at least in this particular cavity there. But things generally were not going well. Things weren't going the way that I was hoping that they'd go. And the biggest problem is that I decided to take on too much on this day. So I did not give myself enough time to be able to execute the vision that I had in my head when I set out to do this project. So you'll notice that I'm only using the yellow colored crushed glass to this point. The reason for that is because I decided to add a little bit of resin to this crushed glass, and so knowing that the resin was curing, it was hardening, I had to use the yellow crushed glass. Maybe I should have just set it one side and let it cure. At this point, I still did not give up on this project though. I continued to add more crushed glass to the pieces because I realized that they were sinking down to the bottom of the resin also, which is something that I did not like because what we're seeing here is the top. It's supposed to be the face of the pendant. So this is after the first layer of resin and glass has cured, and I am woefully dissatisfied with the results. So I decided to make it better by adding more pretty things and adding more crushed glass because that is exactly what it needed to fix. So for the next few seconds, just watch me fix this. In the meantime, I will confess that I was supposed to post this video last Wednesday, but I just did not want to do it. It was so bad. I hope you see why I did not want to do it. This is the worst thing, the worst project that I've ever done. If trying too hard could be encapsulated into an experience or something, this is what it looks like. I was trying way too hard, and the more I tried, the worse it got, to the point where I just could not stand the project. I feel like it already had in way too much yellow crushed glass, and I decided to add more yellow glitter to it. It was too much. It was overwhelming, and I did not stop there. So when it was just too much for me to bear, this is what I did. I decided to add charcoal to cover sections of it, and as you see, I'm still adding glass. I still did not learn. I suppose I was still just trying. I didn't want to give up on the project, but even that was too much. So I ultimately decided to just cover it. So that one that I'm doing, the blue and white, that's the only one that kind of went okay. So I'm top coating that with clear resin. The rest of it though, you'll see what I did. You'll see what I did. All that hard work went down the drain because I'm just covering it with black resin. At this point I just said, you know what? Let's just see what the underside of these pieces look like, and that will be our artwork. So I was hoping that underneath it will look good. That one, so I got a sneak peek there. Huh. I don't know. It did not look bad. It definitely did not look as bad as the top. I wasn't particularly fond of the pink ones, but the others were, yep, they didn't look bad at all. It was a good decision. I am happy with my decision to put a black cover on the front of it to make them the back of it. There are so many things that I would do differently. One of them is not try so hard. Another thing is to not do more than one project at the same time if I'm going to repeat this project. Another thing that I would do is perhaps not use crushed glass because the back part, the parts that were sticking out were sharp, and I know I could fix that with some sanding, but honestly I want to be so over with this project, so I'm being a little bit lazy about that. If you have any suggestions, any recommendations, then please leave them in the comment section below. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Del, and thank you for being here. I hope you have a good day.